enemies appropriate the missiles you have.
Hello everyone, my name's Bob Nitch and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Goodness, I just nicked that clip last night from when we were messing about with the sync guys, and I decided to hike from the commons to the spaceport. So it's a cool visual thing, I think, now that they've included in this patch, is that rather than just having to take trains and such everywhere, you can now actually walk from the location or drive, because the commons and the spaceport both have garages. So if you feel like you don't want to take the train, you can spawn your Cyclone or whatever, or the Ranger when they come out, or your Nox, and you can drive from the commons to the spaceport. So you can just drive across the big ice lake. Well, that was where that was from. So the main meat and potatoes of this video is more information about going into the environment stuff. I know I've kind of been harping on about it a bit, but I do love these changes because it adds so much more flair and how much care you have to take when you do things into the game. And previously I had covered about how you need suits like the Novikov suit here that my lady character is wearing to survive on Microtech. So even wearing the cold weather gear that's on Microtech's shop, it won't protect you very long. So if you go outside, even if you're wearing the cold weather gear, it will maybe give you 5 to 6 minutes if you're lucky and there isn't a wind. So you really do need these protective suits. But on the other end of the scale, you have to look at all the other armour, because all the other armour in the game now doesn't just have what it is and what grade it is of armour, you know, so light, medium, heavy. They have temperature ratings, so every single piece of armour that you wear, from your helmet, your gloves, boots, whatever, every one of them now has its own value. And this works both in cold and, as I want to kind of go a bit deeper with today, in hot areas. So if you come to Tamani & Sons, which is in Lawville and Hurston, normally where you could just pick up, you know, some basic clothing, and they didn't have great armour selection here in the past anyway. But on the right hand side now, as well as some of the armour, they do have a bit of an expanded selection, but more importantly, they have this. And if you notice, it's a red variant of the cold suit, the Novitech armour, and this is the Pembroke Armor. And this is different because if you check this, the Pembroke armour goes the other way compared to the Novitech armour. So the Novitech is for cold, whereas Pembroke goes from -75 to plus 225 degrees C. So the Pembroke armour, as it says in the description, is built to withstand the extreme heat of inhospitable high temperature environments. Based on Caldero's expression, blah 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 blah. The Pembroke is for the hot worlds, so for Daymar, and more importantly in 3.9 for like Aberdeen. So if you're going to break your buddies out of prison, it's very important that you need the armor to match, because if there's some kind of raid or something, or if your friend doesn't have one of these or a way to get out quick, the mean temperature of Aberdeen is well above 200 degrees. So as soon as you escape the prison, if you don't have a means to look after yourself, then you cook very, very quickly, and you don't last very long. I believe, because I haven't done it yet, you can steal an Ursa rover from the prison, and that will give you some extended survivability until you can get a pickup. But if someone's already stolen it, then you're screwed, and you have to run around and hope for the best so that you don't cook. And just to prove that point, we have come to Aberdeen itself. So I can't go full commando here because I wouldn't be able to breathe. So you just step outside, and a normal suit will give you 10 minutes of survivability. So again, she's just in a normal RSI undersuit, and she's got some of the True Death armour on, I believe. So yeah, not the MacFlex or anything, this is just True Death armour with one of the RSI helmets, because I couldn't complete the set because the armour is just scattered everywhere at the minute in the system. So yeah, this is 10 minutes of survivability, and that's because if we look, Aberdeen has a mean surface temperature of 230 degrees Celsius, so you just boil. So once you've escaped the prison, you basically have 10 minutes. But if we change her suit out, and we unequip to our new Pembroke set, see if this changes. And as we can, even this is saying I only have 3 hours or so. So I imagine, oh, you can see the temperature climbing now. This is, I think, where we are now, and the sun isn't even very high here, so the temperature is going to be lower. This suit's only rated for 225, so even this is 5 degrees above this suit's tolerance. So it doesn't give you that long to go. It's a strange kind of, a very cool factor in how they've managed to do it, so that, you know, the temperature changes as the day goes on. And even here, you imagine escaping the prison at midday, then you'd be kind of screwed. You'd probably only have a few minutes to live, or, you know, pray that you've communicated with someone on the Discord or something along those lines to come and rescue you. Otherwise you just boil and then you wake up back in your cell. It's not a nice way to go. Now then, one of the last couple of major features that we can go through is to the new inner thought system and weapon customization. So I'm outside on yellow, it's quite cold out here. I'll come here just to use the weapons, and if we press I as opposed to holding F before and using the little dot, you can see the changes to the inner thought system. So here you get a bit more information this time. So as well as seeing your own ambient body temperature, you can see the surrounding temperature of the area, which is a bit more useful than you might think. You've seen me use it a few times already. So you can see that it's about -30 out here. There's no wind or anything, so it's not that bad here, although still very cold and you wouldn't want to be here very long. What's more important is this. So this is where all the food and drink items that you may buy from stores and things would be held. So I haven't bought any food and drink since the patch was released last night, so that's why this is empty. But if you press back, you can see that you've got a load more actions. You can actually hotkey things to this menu as favourites. As you can see, we've got shortcuts to a couple of emotes. We've got a shortcut to take our helmet off, probably not a very good idea here. We can go back to the personal inventory. We can go into this field here called actions, so player actions. This thing's got like respawn or prone or maybe another emote, or you can choose what emote you want to use in there. Sorry, I'll skip past that a bit. You can see you've got a bit more of a menu and you can scroll through. We go back from there, you can go prone, you can respawn, as I said. You can go to weapon selection, so you can choose which weapons you want to use, and again you can shortcut these, and it's telling me that I already have weapons equipped and what I can use. And you can just go to mobiGlass. So here you go. Oh, right click comes up to favourite. I see, the more you know. Okay, so yeah, just making the inner thought system a bit more tangible to use and a bit more useful, rather than having to go into the mobiGlass and do everything through there. Now, the next thing we've got is the weapon customization. So if I press 2 and bring my SMG up, I'm actually going to go back inside the Pisces for this because my helmet's getting quite misty. And if we hold F to customize as we've done before, and instead of just bunging it or throwing a weapon wrap, inspect it, you can go to this option here called customize. And if we click this, you can see that there's 3 hard points on this weapon that can be changed. So everything that can be modified on a weapon will be shown here and make it a bit easier as to what to change. So for instance, I can put some sights on it, and I hit back, and that's done. I can go to here, I can choose to put a laser pointer on the bottom. I hit back and it's done. I can put silencers or stabilizers or suppressors or something along those lines in there. And then you hit exit and it's done. No more going into the mobiGlass and having to fart about with it outside of a bunker clear mission or anything like that. Makes it a hell of a lot more easier and a hell of a lot more usable. So yeah, I think that's just another series of cool features that they've added. So it's getting to be a lot more, what's the word? I would say organic, and everything feels a bit more fluid rather than having to go, oh, I need to change this, I'll just go into the mobiGlass. Or I won't, because the server's probably 30k'ing. I'll just go into the mobiGlass and change things. So yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier to use. So I hope that was a bit more useful for you. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you with some more PTU stuff if I find it, because there's so much to see and do when the servers don't crash as they're about to. I'll see you next time.